Hello, it's Belinda from Sacred Transformations. Thanks so much for connecting with me. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a psychic medium, a transformational healer, and a spiritual teacher who connects with your guides and your passed over loved ones, provides you with light bulb moments of clarity to help support you as you heal your past, change your present, and create your future, as well as to help you learn and grow along the way so that you can step into being the best version of yourself. So I want to do a 3-card reading for the energy that's coming up this week, just to help support you in moving you forward. So, okay, the card I've pulled is the Tower card. So for this card, some people see it as big and scary just because of there's fire and there's lightning and rain and all kinds of stuff. For me, this card's about sudden and dramatic change. Now, sudden and dramatic change can be scary for some people, but sometimes when you're stuck, it's almost as if you need that sudden change and blowing the lid off something, so to speak, for the momentum to move into where you're meant to be. So the fact that the lightning is striking the top, that's what I'm really, really drawn to. Things will fall away from this sudden change, and it's almost as if you're shedding what you don't need anymore. Like it's a reevaluation, transformation time where you've built this big tower based on how you think your life is meant to be, but you're not actually happy. So it's time for this big upheaval and this big change to create momentum, because if it was just slow sort of change, then it's not going to have the dramatic effect that it needs to. Slow and less dramatic would mean you're going to fall back into what you were doing that's not meant for you. So it's almost as if the big sudden dramatic change is what's needed to catapult you to where you're meant to be. It's not so big and scary. It's happening for a reason, and it's actually okay. Like, trust the process and just be okay with where the cards fall. You'll never be given any more than you can handle. That's what I'm being asked to pass on from Spirit. So the next card that I've pulled is the 9 of Cups. Now, I've had this card before, I'm sure of it. So following on from the big change, this guy, he's sitting there, king of his castle, and he's content and he's happy. He's got his cups around him. They are full of the things that are important in his life, and they're all being filled up equally as they need to be. And he's just sitting there pretty, like, he's happy, he's content. The change has passed from all that. Like, there is residual that will go on that's come about from that. But then you get into this space and there'll be ease and grace and flow, and things will be different, but a new kind of different that's way better than what you had before. Things will fall away as they need to if they're not meant for you. And if you ignore the change that's sitting there for long enough, you will be given something big that will be the catapult that you need to break you out of that situation that you shouldn't have been in anyway. So one way or another, there's big change coming, but don't be caught up in the fear and the doubt of it and all the heady-based ego energy. Sit in your heart and trust that it's happening for a reason, and go with the flow in what sits and fits for you, not what other people expect or want you to do. That's important. So, yeah. I feel like it's a big week coming up, because the energy that I've noticed in the last week has been a lot of people that have just been stuck and doing things the hard way. And if you're stuck and you're doing things the hard way, it's because you're not actually meant to be doing whatever that is, but people are just more conditioned to do things that way because that's just been what we've learned through the generations. So taking a step back and just, looking at what's important for you and what you want, and just going with that. So the next card that I pulled is the 4 of Cups. Cups seems to be a theme. So as I connect with this card, I'm staring at the guy sitting under the tree, and it's almost like he's in a contemplative, is that a word? He's in contemplation. I don't know if contemplative is a word. It is today, and if it's not, it is now. So he's in contemplation. It's almost like he's meditating, but I want to say, like, he's looking at his life, he's doing some self-reflection, and he's examining, and there's probably a bit of getting in his head, but he's not noticing that he's being propped up by a tree. A tree is support. Like, trees have been around for a really long time. They usually have a really solid grounding foundation because the roots are established before the trunk goes up. And the fact that it's done the foundational work and had that trunk and had the growth, like, a tree's done the work to get to that point, and it provides that steady, solid support. So he's leaning on the tree. It's providing him support. There's support around him. There's growth around him. And although he's like, it looks like he's calm and he's almost meditating, he's not seeing the gift that's being handed to him in the cup from the side. So he's not open to receive. So I think the really important message here is look up. Like, you can be looking down and, a bit reflective and, just going through your life and seeing what's going on and reassessing and adapting. But sometimes you need to just look up and be open to receive, because gifts can come from the most unlikeliest of places, so can support. But if you're not even open to it to start with, how do you know it's there? So yeah, work on the meditation, work on the contemplation for sure, but also pick your head up and have a look at what's out there, what's going on, because if you ask for help, it will come. And sometimes when you ask for help, it will come from the most unlikeliest of places, and you might poo-poo it because you are not open to receive, or you think that that's not a good fit for you. That's okay. It's part of your learning. It may not be a good fit for you, but it may also be something that is really good for you if you're open to it. So assess it on a case-by-case basis. Go into your heart with it, not your head, because your head's going to have the fear and the doubt and all the stuff going on. Sit in your heart with it and ask yourself if it's the best option for you. Take the support if it's there. Fill up your cups. Like, your cups are what is the important things to you in your life. And I want to say, get back to basics with what is important to you, because we get caught up in life and what we think we need to make ourselves comfortable. But if you go back and pare it back to a grassroots level, the most important things that you need are food, shelter, love, support, all of that kind of grassroots stuff. Go back to that. Make sure that you've looked at all of that and that you're happy with where all of that sits. If there's things that you need to shift and change, do what you've got to do to get the grassroots right, the foundations right, so that the growth can come from there. Yeah. So bonus card. Willingness. A lot of things don't happen for people because they're not willing to be open to possibilities. So I wonder if you could embrace the energy, and I invite you to embrace the energy of willingness this week, and paring it back, being simple in what you need and what you want, and being open and willing to receive, and being open and willing to be shown possibilities and solutions, instead of being stuck in the woe is me, I can't get what I want, I can't have this, or the self-talk stuff that keeps you stuck. Shift that around a little bit and wonder what it would be like to have solutions to problems, and wonder what it would be like to embrace possibilities. Shift the mindset a little bit so that you can be open to new ways of being and new things that will pop in, so that you're actually open to it instead of being more closed off. Because remember, your thoughts create your reality. So if your thoughts are, I can't have, then you're not going to have it. So you're kind of getting exactly what you asked for, if that makes sense. So just shifting that perspective a little bit so that you are open and willing to receive would go a long way in helping you to be guided to where you're meant to be, instead of being stuck where you don't want to be, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think that's about it for this week. I hope this helps you flow through your week. And if you'd like a personal reading, head over to www.sacredtransformations.com.au. And I hope you take the time this week to just connect with yourself and work on your own healing and development, because that will help you to connect with your authentic self and help you to heal your past, change your present, and create your future. So have an amazing week, and I'll see you next week.